down its decision overturning Roe v. Wade, allowing states to make their own abortion laws. Protests erupted across the country after the ruling yesterday. Thousands of people, both pro-life and pro-abortion activists. The protests were mostly peaceful, but last night in our nation's capital, activists burned the American flag. One sign that was next to the burning flag read FMPD, and another reads FU Thomas, Alito, Coney Barrett, Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, Roberts. And police used tear gas to break up a sizable crowd outside the Arizona Senate building. One state senator tweeting, protesters threatened to break the entryway glass. Meantime, back in Washington, Democrats seem to be calling for violence. Watch.
You see this turnout here? You ain't seen nothing yet. The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them. We will be out by the thousands. We will be out by the millions.
There is a war out there, and we need to recognize.
Wow, sounds to me like they are calling for some fisticuffs, man. Sounds like they're calling for some fisticuffs. And, you know, they're burning the flag. They're coming out by the droves, making sure that their voices are heard. And I don't know if y'all seen already. I'm going to make sure I put it in this video so y'all can see it. But they are actually twerking. I don't know what effect that's going to do. Like, I've never seen a bill passed from twerking before. And if that's the case, if they actually got that going on in the midst of their debates, inside of all of their debates to try to pass laws and whatnot, and they twerking against each other, if that works, then so be it. Listen, that's in the Bill of Rights too, I believe. You have a right to twerk. I don't know which one it is, but hey, it is what it is. But just listen to me. Listen to me. Let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all need to wake the hell up, okay? Wake the hell up. Also, I also want to say this. Stop being so daggone sensitive. Please. Please. Understand that if a bill has been passed or if something seems to be infringing upon your rights all of a sudden, it's because there are people who voted against whatever you stand for, and they firmly believe that whatever you believe is not the right thing to believe. That's how you make a statement and not really say anything. Well, guess what? A lot of y'all are out there doing the same damn thing. I was just trying to put a mirror up to some people out there who are just being ridiculous, man. Nothing is going to happen positively for burning the American flag and twerking and bringing millions of people to the daggone doors of the Supreme Court. Well, you know what? I don't know. Do your thing. Do your thing. But if nothing passes in your direction and you can't make anything happen, that's all on you.
Nice.
Ridiculous,
we've got
man.
to armor up.
Got to armor up. AOC.
This says the Department of Homeland Security warned extremists could use the Supreme Court's decision to justify their violence. It's kind of amazing to me because, you know, you look at this, and just a few weeks back when you had the Buffalo shooting, you had the Democrats immediately pouncing on conservative rhetoric, saying...
Right. Let me tell you something, too. One other thing. I'm going to let them talk in a minute. Listen, if y'all are going to go to violence because of abortions, please don't say sugar, honey, iced tea else about January 6th. I don't want to hear it. If the left, if MSNBC, CNN, and all of those channels are cool and okay with what's happening, and I mean, I'm talking about the violence of it all. I'm not talking about peaceful protests. Peaceful protests until your drawers fall down. I can care less about that. That's something you have a right to do. That's something you should do. But when violence comes to play, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear Nathan, about it.
That was to blame for the shooting. And now you just heard it. You've got these Democrats, these Democratic politicians that are either calling for violence or not condemning violence. I want to play this soundbite from California Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs, and then we'll get your response to this, Laura.
We have seen acts of violence in previous weeks. When the leak came out, we've seen people condoning those acts of violence, especially in the wake of today's decision. Your opinion on that?
Frankly, the government trying to tell me what to do with my body feels like an act of violence in and of itself.
As for the actual acts of violence that have taken place.
Notice she says feels. Feels. It feels like an act of violence. It feels. I don't care what it is. It feels like it. So that's, already know I'm operating off my damn feelings anyway. So, hey, if it feels like it, then it is.
Do you condone it? Yes or no?
I think people should do what they think is the most effective way to stand up to this hateful and shameful decision.
Indicating violence is the most effective way to stand up for a shameful decision. And Laura, what happens if somebody goes out and shoots some pro-life people? Do they blame the gun? What's going on here?
It's really frightening, honestly. And we know that they've condoned this violence because you had this group, Jane's Revenge, that has firebombed pro-life offices, has targeted pro-life individuals across the country. Nothing has been truly done about it. You had parents that went to school board meetings and they were called domestic terrorists. This group has not been labeled as a domestic terrorist organization, although very clearly it's I don't know why they haven't. No one has done the right thing when it came to the folks protesting outside of the justices' homes. Where was our attorney general taking steps to make sure that that didn't happen? And now we see after the fact that people are obviously very heated. It is a very tense time in America. And when you have people, leaders that are not stepping up to the plate and saying, do not go out and commit violence. I mean, I don't agree with Joe Biden on much, but at least yesterday, whenever he spoke, he did say that. He did say, we don't want violence, keep everything peaceful. It's a really scary time, and no wonder people are doing it. You have folks like that just saying basically anything goes.
David Webb, it's a very good point she brings up about the Attorney General, right? I mean, he did nothing for those protests outside the justices' homes, which have gone on for weeks now.
Right.
And it's clearly against the law. And then when the Attorney General comes out yesterday, I mean, how often have you seen an Attorney General weigh in on a Supreme Court decision and really kind of just slam it? It seems like politics is just so heavily involved in this.
Well, it is. And this is an attorney general who, if they had their way, would be on the Supreme Court. I wonder what his view would be on a protest outside his home. That statement that Merrick Garland issued yesterday, I think it was about 11:30 a.m., he was quick to come out with it, was a political statement, not a statement that should be made by anyone in a law enforcement position. And to your point about Joe Biden saying peace, peace, peace yesterday, this is after a planned assassination of a Supreme Court justice.
Which he still hasn't talked about.
Right, which they haven't spoken out against.
Whoa, a planned assassination? Whoa. Whoa. Now, I did hear of them, like, disrupting the peace, like protesting outside of someone's one of the Supreme Court justices' homes, but I didn't know it was a planned assassination connected to. Come on now. Come on, bruh. Come on, guys. Y'all just, come on. Y'all doing the most, man. Y'all are doing the most, man. I get it. Y'all have y'all reasons. Everybody feel like they have their freaking reasons to do what they want to do, man. If it's not led by love, it's not going to be good. Period. If it's not led by love, it's not going to be good. And they always say, well, what they're doing to us is not led by love. What they're doing to us is wrong. They don't care about our vaginas. And if you don't care about our vaginas, why should we care about your guns? That's all I'm seeing on the internet, man. It's... Oh my God, this is becoming such a sugar honey iced tea show.
So
it's crazy.
I don't buy it. And to whether it's Congresswoman Maxine Waters, remember, she said go after Trump supporters, harass them if they're out in a restaurant, and they did.
Yeah.
So, and the Congresswoman you had in that sound, when you look at it, the Democrats are looking at this as how much can we gin up? They didn't close the Supreme Court race because of violent people who wanted to pray outside. They closed it because of violent leftists who were threatening to go in. And when you think about Madison, Wisconsin, a few years back, what they did in that building, this is what they're promoting tacitly or implicitly. They either implicitly say it or they tacitly approve it like the president did.
You had a couple of analysts also mention yesterday that, we've seen weeks and weeks of protesting outside the justices' homes, clearly illegal because you cannot protest while a decision is pending.
Right.
Well, the decision has been made. So now there's an argument that they could legally go and protest in front of these justices' homes, which ups the danger level there. Nicole, I just want to play this soundbite. This is a pro-abortion activist calling for violence against the Supreme Court. Watch.
I'm just convinced we need to burn it all down, because at this point, I don't know what else we're supposed to do.
Burn what all down? Lady, why are you on camera saying this? Listen to me, lady. Get off camera saying it. What the hell is wrong with you? Burn it all down, and then if something was to end up happening to you, then there's going to be a remember her name type of thing going on where everybody's in the streets. All because your dumb ass want to cut on the camera and say, burn it all down. What type of, what? What?
I'm advocating for violence. We're supposed to do
Oh,
what?
Lord.
Sit on the sidelines? Light it on fire.
They just want to torch everything.
Well, Trace, a part of this,
Yo, that's an issue. That's an issue. She don't even care that she's, how is that? Yo, let me just be quiet, man, because listen, I'm about to lose my ticket to the daggone cookout.
part of the reason that there's such an uproar with the SCOTUS decision regarding Roe right now is because the Democrats have allowed the progressive left to radicalize the pro-life movement, or the pro-choice movement, But essentially what they're saying, they're having violent demonstrations, they're promoting violence, and now they are radicalizing pro-choice because the majority of Americans are in some favor of some access to abortion with restrictions. The poll after poll tells us that. But what has happened was, even through that Women's Health Protection Act, you had 47 Democratic senators plus President Biden say that they would support that. And what that would do would remove any restrictions when it came to abortion, saying that a baby, up until the moment they breathe their first breath of life, could have an abortion caused to them. And so that...
Why would any woman want to stand by that? F that whole my body, my choice thing. There's absolutely nothing you can say that makes that right. You can care less about it. You just saying my rights is more important than God at this point. My rights is more important than a newborn baby. What? What about the baby's rights? Because you do know as soon as they pop up out that coochie, they got their own rights. They are a citizen now. But you have made the right to kill them. Wow. I don't know if people are so tied into their own rights that they don't care about the baby's rights. That's ridiculous.
The majority of Americans don't necessarily agree with that. So because of that radicalized opinion, you have now galvanized the pro-life movement. You have also taken some of the moderates who are not okay with those late-term abortions, and now they've garnered some more support. So now it's going to go to the states. And at the end of the day, the extremes on both sides, pro-life, pro-choice, these state governors and legislators are not going to win re-election if they take radical sides on any extreme of the argument. And you need to come together and really go for what the American people want.
And we've got about a minute left, and I just want to point this out because I was in Times Square last night and they had a march that came down. There were thousands of people and it was peaceful, but I talked to some people and it's surprising to me that most really or some believe that the Supreme Court just banned abortion in this country, and they don't realize that it went back to the states where it was for 180.
But that speaks.
That is the most.
That's the thing, though, man. People have been so so in love with the government controlling everything as long as they do it in their favor. If you do it in my favor, I'm fine with it. We want the whole government to do it. We want people everywhere to be controlled by this one. We don't want the states to have a right to say what they want to say because we already know that it's not going to be to our favor. People either they want to pick and choose, man. They want to pick and choose.
Honestly, the most shocking thing to me to have learned in the past 24 hours is just how many people believe what you're saying, Trace, that they have followed. And by the way, it's the rhetoric. Nicole, you talked about the rhetoric from the left. The left has pushed the idea that abortion is banned, period, in America. That is not the case. And a lot of folks, I think, need to go back and maybe go to high school civics and actually learn how the process in this country works, that now it goes back to the states. And if you believe in our constitutional republic, if you believe in a democratic process, that is what will happen now. And if your state votes to make abortion...
That's the thing. Most people don't believe in that. Most people don't believe in that. I mean, especially people on the left. Most people on the left don't believe in that. Let me say that. They don't care. That's the thing. They want to rip up the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and just start over. Let's write something else. Because we're all different now, right? Huh? We're all different. And I say, if we're going to do that, let's go ahead and rewrite the Bible. How about we do that? Huh? Who vote to rewrite the Bible? Let's do that.
You know, up until 20 weeks, 25 weeks, 30 weeks, whatever it is, that'll be in your state. Some states may ban it altogether, but that's the scary part, is a lot of people believe that.
You know, there's a responsibility that they've chosen to ignore on the left, and it's not just about this issue. Like immigration, you know, all the other issues, they gin it up and they drive it home. The misinformation benefits them, and then you get the chest beating by the media, the left-wing media, a media which, by the way, now says outright, like Don Lemon and others have done, we don't cover the issues equally, Democrats, Republicans, right, left. So this is going to become more of a problem, and unfortunately, I do believe in some of the states are going to see more radical action and bad behavior.
10 seconds, Nicole, to wrap us up.
At the end of the day, violence will never be the answer, and especially it's the antithesis for democracy, which is what we are. So I implore all leaders, anyone in the public eye, to not condone violence, because people will get hurt and people will die.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Great conversation. We will continue it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
All right, yeah, that was a great conversation, and you know what? Relax, guys. Relax. Fox News, I want y'all also to understand too, like if you're not condoning violence for what they're doing right now, then you need to understand why people don't condone violence for what happened on January 6th, right? Sometimes, man, sometimes violence is necessary. I will say that. Right now, it's not. It's not necessary right now, and it wasn't necessary in Jan 6 either. If there's no fairness, people will always say, well, they did it. Well, they did it. Something I used to stop with my children real early, man. Raising children is a very difficult job. It really is, man. Because you got to promote fairness, but you got to also let them know that fairness is nothing but smoke and mirrors. Like, life is not fair. Life isn't fair. And a lot of these adults who are thinking about taking it to the streets and being extremely violent, or whatever they call to be violent. I'm sure when they burn it down, they probably don't want no people in there. Some people want some people to still be in there when they burn it down. They probably want all of the Supreme Court justices who are not of their liking to still be in there while they burn it down, because some people are just outright evil. All right, like black people, for instance. When like a lot of the black people who still to this day have an issue with Donald Trump are mad and pissed and think he's racist because he said there were good people on both sides. And they're like, both sides? What do you mean both sides? What do you mean both sides? We're the only side that got good people. People are ridiculous, man. And I'm getting tired of them. I'm getting tired of people being dumb and not adding to, and not being productive, and not being a part of the solution, man. Being more and more and more of the problem. Because there are some people who sit on their hands all day long, never hold themselves accountable, but as soon as somebody else do something out of bounds and they feel like they are not being accountable or they are not looking out for people, they are first and foremost to hold them accountable. Nope, that's not how that works. At any event, I want to hear what you all have to say about this in the comments below. And if you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I'm Van, and now we are all the LFR family. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside the Patreon as well. Y'all have been amazing. Love you. Bye.